welcome back to my channel, Book Nerds. Yes, last video we started the complete Shakespeare, A Midsummer's Night Dream, and in this video we are going to be continuing that poem that beloved Shakespeare wrote. Okay, so what are we waiting for? Oh yes, and one more thing that I forgot to mention. In the next video, I will be reading something else. Okay. Yeah, so once we finish up A Midsummer's Night Dream, I will be moving on to another book. Now, I haven't picked this yet, but it will be promised interesting, okay? So yes, next video I shall be revealing the book that we are going to be reading. Now, to continue with A Midsummer's Night Dream, we ended at over in Act 2, Scene 2. Now we are going to start Act 2, Scene 2 in this video. So yeah, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Puck looped around branches and over tree stumps, searching for the young man. When at last he came upon a couple asleep on a mossy bank, he swooped down and dropped the flower juice onto the young man's eyelids. "Upon your eyes do I now throw all the power this charm does owe," he sang. Little did Puck know, but the sleeping couple was not Demetrius and Helena, but Lysander and Hermia. Puck had cast his magic spell over the wrong man. A beautiful start there. Nearby, Helena was stumbling around in the dark. Demetrius had stormed off without her, and she had been left frightened and alone. Luckily, she spotted Lysander asleep on the ground. "Lysander!" she cried out in relief. She hurried over and shook him awake. Lysander awoke with a start. When he opened his eyes, the first person he saw was Helena peering down at him. The charm worked his magic at once, and he gasped in wonder. He'd never seen a beauty more enchanting. "Helena, I love you!" he cried. Helena stared at him in utter disbelief. "But you love Hermia!" Lysander shook his head. It's not Hermia, but Helena I love," he insisted, gazing up at Helena in awe. Helena scowled. "You must be mocking me," she cried, and dashed off into the forest. Without a moment's thought, Lysander leaped up and chased after her. He had forgotten all about sleeping Hermia. Moments later, Hermia stirred. Opening her eyes, she looked around for Lysander and realized she was alone. Crying out in panic, she hurried into the trees to look for him. Puck had no idea of the trouble he'd caused. He flew deeper into the forest, looking for fun and mischief. Hopping across toadstools and splashing through streams, he slowed down when he came to a clearing where a group of men were rehearsing a play. Smiling to himself, he perched high on a branch to watch. "Thisby," Bottom bellowed. "Your breath smells as sweet as flowers." He clutched his heart dramatically, then returned behind a bush to wait for his next scene. Flute, who was playing Thisby, looked confused. "Am I supposed to speak now?" Quince groaned. "Yes!" he shouted. Flute coughed and began to speak in a high, squeaky voice. "Most radiant Primus, you're as beautiful as a rose and as true as a horse that never tires." Puck raised his eyebrows. "I've never seen such a silly play," he thought. Then an idea popped into his head. He darted behind the bush and whispered a magic charm into Bottom's ear. Bottom didn't suspect a thing, but Puck, hiding behind the branches, doubled up with silent laughter as he watched his spell take effect. Bottom's ears shot up, with hair sprouting all over them. His nose grew long and bristles spread all over his face. Within seconds, his head had changed to that of a donkey. Ooh, quite a nice start. Unaware that anything at all had happened to him, Bottom crashed back into the clearing and ran to Flute with open arms. "Hee-haw! If I were fair, I would be hee-haw yours." Flute took one look at the donkey-headed brute hurtling his direction and let out a blood-curdling scream. "Help! A monster!" Tripping over his own feet, he fled upon the opposite direction. with the other terrified actors hot on his heels. Bottom was confused. Was this part of the play? What on earth had made them run away? He looked around, wondering what to do. Deciding he should probably try to head back home, he lumbered off to the bushes, braying a tune as he went. Nearby, Titania, the fairy queen, was sleeping in her bed of flowers. At the sound of Bottom's braying, Titania lifted her head. She took one look at his long, bristly nose as he emerged through the trees and fell instantly in love. "What angel wakes me from my flower bed?" Titania breathed. "Sing again, beautiful stranger." Bottom grinned at the fairy queen, revealing a set of enormous front teeth. Sitting down next to her, he brayed out another tune. Titania stroked his long, furry ears. "Feed him apricots and blueberries with purple grapes, green figs, and mulberries," she commanded her fairy servants. Puck, who had been watching the curious scene from above, covered his mouth a stifled giggle. "Mischief has been made!" He darted off to tell Orbrian. "In love with the donkey!" Orbrian roared with laughter. "This has worked better than I could have planned." The fairy king fell quiet when he saw Hermia marching through the trees below, with Demetrius in hot pursuit. "Where is Lysander?" Hermia demanded, pushing through the branches. "I fear you have killed him in his sleep." Demetrius looked hurt. I am not guilty of Lysander's blood. Why are you so cruel to me when I love you so?" Hermia scowled and marched on. Sighing, Demetrius hung back, exhausted. It was no use. Hermia would never love him. Yawning, he lay down on the mossy ground, drew his cloak around him, and closed his eyes. Oberon looked at Puck in confusion. "Did you cast a spell on this man as I asked?" he whispered. Puck shook a mop of his curly hair. "Not this one." "What have you done?" groaned, realizing Puck's mistake. Okay, so yes, this is the end of Act 2, Scene 2. In the next video, we shall be moving on into Act 3, Scene 2. And book fans, don't forget to smash the subscribe button down low, hit the like, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.